Alrighty, folks, it is time for that monthly update. As you know, I like to do hard things. In 2025, my hard thing is to go from roughly 36% body fat to sub 10%. If you watch my channel, you also know that I was in Asia for 3 weeks on a trip. So we're going to find out what I did, what I didn't do. Have I gone backwards? Let's bring Dr. Jeff to the show, but we're also going to share a comment that I got from a hater. We're going to do that in 1 minute. But Dr. Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, great to be here. Welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been fun. I had to get away. Obviously, you were at my event. That takes a lot out of me. But I'm also trying to get to 9.9% body fat. So heading off to Asia for 3 weeks and enjoying yourself, and believe me, I enjoyed myself, was maybe not the best thing to do.
Well, listen, nothing in a biological system is a straight line linear thing, right? So and there will be ups and downs, and some of them are self-inflicted.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it was the dim sum or what.
Yeah. We'll get into it. I got nothing to hide. I'll go through exactly what, because I did, because we're on this journey, I did some things consciously right. And then I did some other things that were just like, you know what? Life is short. Celebrate. Let's do that. But we'll get into that in a minute. But first, I want to start with a comment from a hater.
All right.
This is somebody that has been a known hater on this channel, somebody who clearly hates me, who has clearly left some of the most nasty comments on my channel. In fact, this comment is really nasty. I'm only going to read the first line. I'll only read the first line because I think it's funny. It actually shows that maybe what you and I are doing is working. If you want to see the comment, go to my Instagram. I put it on Instagram on its full blast. This is from a gentleman that goes by the name Real Estate Mindset. Again, if you want to leave hate on my channel, I will share it. So here's the first line. It's probably 10 lines, and every line is worse than the one before. But I thought of you with this first line. I did. Again, right? You and I are going on this health journey. So this is
absolutely. I'm in it for the ride. Let's go.
What happened to this clown's face? Plastic surgery?
Yep.
No, idiot. I lost 20 pounds. So that's his comment. It gets a lot worse from there. But I do think it's interesting because I don't notice, because this is my face every day, so I don't notice the change. But clearly some haters out there have realized that I've lost some weight, Jeff.
Well, let's talk about that, because we've been tracking things, and I haven't talked to you
in a month.
Yeah. So this is everything you tell me is a surprise for me too. I haven't been able to prepare much.
Yep.
Even though we have some topics that I knew were coming. So how have you been doing? Last time we talked, which was in February 24th, I believe.
Yep.
At least in this way, you had lost about 20 pounds. And you were looking good. You were feeling good. We were on the right path.
Yes. Yeah. So I gained about 1.5 pounds on this journey, 3 weeks. And really, I think that's a combination of two things. So what did I do right? I still stayed focused on protein, right? It was still a conscious choice. I did break down and have a couple of desserts. Like I had gelato 2, maybe 3 times. But that was really it for the sweets. I think I had like 1 peanut butter cookie because it was warm. But generally speaking, I did not revert to my old habits. My old habits would have been start with dessert, maybe start with 2.
Life is short. Yeah.
Life is short, right? So I was consciously good about my food choices.
Yep.
I suspect it. There was never a day that I went over my target of 2,080 calories. I probably got close several times, but I never went over that. Like I didn't overeat. I didn't go to 3,000 calories. I did go to the gym. They did have a very small gym on this small ship. Probably 5 of the first 7 days and then 0 of the next 7, because we were doing $15,000 step journeys around these cities. So steps still stayed. My Aura ring, I honestly forgot to bring the charger, so it died like 3 days in. I was like, "Oh, you idiot! You didn't bring the charger." So that stopped working for 2 weeks. What else? Vitamins. I didn't buy the new vitamin set that you recommended because we met 2 days before I left, and given packing and whatnot, I just didn't buy them. I didn't do the blood work. Same reason. 2 days, couldn't get it done with our hectic schedule. So I'll stop there. Let you keep poking at it, because again, this is still important to me. But that's just the reality of what happened the last month.
No, I'd rather we deal with the reality and get back on path and reignite doing the work, as someone once told me. So okay, you're back. How long have you been back?
We've been back 5 days. I've been back kind of on schedule, literally less than 24 hours. Right, okay. That time zone different from the other side of the world at least it hits me pretty good. So yeah, it's even screwing with my sleep. That's the one thing I wanted to say. This is the first time in 5 years I'm not sleeping like a baby. Right.
Well, so I mean, you're doing the melatonin, that should help you reset, right? Yeah, and then use the visual light cues. Get up in the morning and walk outside, put your naked feet on the grass or whatever, sand if you're on the beach or whatever, and then look up at get some real light on your retina, the back of your eyes, and that'll signal the release of all the hormones, kind of reset you. Same at night. It's dark, stop eating, get cold, go to bed. Okay. So that'll reset. I'm not worried about it. You have a long history of having good sleep. Yeah. And you've traveled to Asia before, so this will fix itself. But did you add back the additional supplements?
As of yet, no. I need to go buy them at a vitamin store or Amazon.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah. Just these days going to vitamin stores is sort of a wasted trip. Just order them up, and then I think you might have put them in the show notes from last time.
Yeah, I'll get them.
Okay. So pick those up. I think it was Super B Complex with folate, B9, with niacin, with berberine, and with red rice yeast. And again, we got more to add, right? You're gonna grow up into this kind of little daily. But for now, I'm building on these things based on labs, based on things we're getting at. And a 1.5 pound gain after 20-pound loss, that's okay. This is just time to recharge it. Yeah. And one of the things I wanted to do today was, sort of build on your workouts.
That's actually an interesting point, because again, I'm not convinced this 1.5 pounds was fat, because I came back and started doing the pull-ups and all of that again, and I'm just flat out stronger.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so, listen, you've been working out for what is it? It's
2 months. Yeah, 2.5 months.
2+ months, because really you started a little bit early, and then to miss 2-3 weeks, and it's not like all that is going to go away, that 2 to 3 months, so that fast. So it's easier to get back on track. So don't be discouraged. A lot of people are like, I put on 1.5 pounds. Screw it. I'm off my.
I'm out. No,
get right back on it. Dust yourself off, and just compensate. Right, do a little extra, as a friend of mine would say. Do a little extra. That's like do the work, only extra.
I am perfectly capable of doing the extra.
So this is where we, really, when you're at failure, you find one more rep, and this is where, you go an extra. Instead of doing 20 minutes on the high intensity workouts, you go 22. So I've been loving that Techno Gym equipment, and that's not a plug for Techno Gym. I don't have stock in Techno Gym, but I log in with my phone, and if I only have 20 minutes, I can set for a 20-minute HIIT workout.
Yeah.
If I have 14 minutes, I can do that. I can do 30. I can do 35, and you can change the level. And man, I'm nice. The heart rate goes up and down. It's beautiful. It matches with your Oura ring.
Let's talk about that. One of the things I wanted to do on this show, because again, I failed in a lot of ways, is I want to remind folks why you're having me do certain things. And one of the ones I wrote down was why it's important to push the heart, right? One of the things I did in the beginning is I was doing 25,000 steps, and the fat was falling off, but my heart rate wasn't being pushed. So talk about the importance of doing some HIIT workouts intermittently and simply not relying on long walks because I have the flexibility. Why is it important to work that in?
It's like the engine of your car. When you press on the gas and it's a brand new car, man, it responds immediately. But you get in a way older car, maybe it hasn't been tuned up, the fuel injector's a little clogged. You press on the gas, there's a delay. So you need that heart to react up and down to demands and relaxation as quickly as possible. That's adaptability in the heart. And that best measure is that heart rate variability, or HRV, which you get from the Oura Ring. Yep. So your longevity, your health, your cardiovascular fitness in that way is a main contributor of how you are healthy, of how biologically young you are. So you need that for all purposes, whether it's for brain function or physical demands, and maintaining of muscle mass and bone density requires blood flow. Everything's about being able to supply blood where your body needs it upon request immediately.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And then tell us more again. You've got me on. I think it will be. I think it's 5 currently. A couple more to get to. Why are supplements, important in this journey?
Well, listen. If you had a couple acres out back, and you weren't putting apartment buildings on them, rental doors, you would have an organic garden, right? Let's say this was 150 years ago. You would have natural soil, and you would have diverse probiotic bacteria in there. You wouldn't have any pesticides. You would have all kinds of diverse fruits and greens and vegetables. You probably wouldn't need many supplements. Free range, meats and things like that, fish, maybe wild caught. But the problem is our diet is so washed out and overly controlled that we are not getting that the phytonutrients, the diversity. We have gaps in our nutrition. Even if you go to a good grocery store and get good stuff, organic stuff, you're just not getting what the body needs. So
we're trying to fill in what's missing from just consumption of food.
Yeah, and. Again, if you were hundreds of years ago, you probably got most of this. But you think about it, there's a lot of biodiversity on the planet. We live in the States, but man, if we lived in the Pacific Islands, we'd get all kinds of exotic fruits and things that are hard to get here, right? You'd be eating dragon fruits and this kind of odd fruit you've never heard of. And all the different phytonutrients, we're just not getting those. So having these additional supplements is a way to get some of those.
Okay.
And then on top of that, it's a hack. It's a strategy, right? There are things in our environment, the stresses, the electromagnetic forces, the other pesticides that our body has to deal with. It leaches out some of it. They overuse some of the good components. So we have to put those back in, like magnesium, for example. It's basic, right? Magnesium, it's in everything, right? And we get most of it through our leafy greens. Well, we're not having 8 to 12 servings of leafy greens a day, most of us. So it's just hard to do, And so that's why we need to supplement, because so many cellular processes require magnesium. And that's just an example. I don't mean to call that out as the only one.
No. I just wanted to make sure we get into this. And again, one of the things you're helping me understand is I've really changed my workout routines, right? My workout routines used to be very CrossFit oriented, meaning they were certainly high intensity,
right?
But these are my opinions, right? A CrossFit workout pushes your cardiovascular most often to failure, but it's not pushing your muscles to failure. And one of the things we've done, we've actually worked out together, and you're helping me understand it's not 5 sets of 10. It's like 1 set to failure, right? It's okay to get to 27 or 28.
Well, if you're a bodybuilder and you want to put on, pec muscles, then you got to do multiple sets, ramping up, maxing out and ramping back down, like you and I did that one time. But for you don't need to be a bodybuilder to have really good muscle mass and lean muscles and flexibility. Again, a lot of those bodybuilders don't have flexibility, and they're going to break and hurt something when they don't. You're going to tear something if you don't have flexibility. You're going to be 65 years old, and you're going to be changing a light bulb at home, stepping off a ladder and tear your Achilles because you haven't been working on flexibility.
Right. Yeah, I like that. All right. What else should we talk about?
All right. So let's work on your workout a little bit more for a minute.
Okay.
And then you mentioned the calories. You said 2050
80.
or 2080. So remember, we looked at your basal metabolic rate on the body comp machine last time.
Yep.
And your actually demand for your body comp when we did it. Let me find it here. Body mass. So okay, here it is. We did this January 15th. So you're probably even less mass, so there may be a little more muscle mass. So you're not far. Your demands at that time were 1,889 calories just to maintain.
Okay.
And you're really trying to lose some fat weight. So you could be under 1,800 and be fine. So you don't need to target 2,000. You need to target.
Okay. I need to change that up.
And as we get older and our metabolism slows, we can work to speed up our metabolism and or decrease the number of calories.
Okay.
Calorie counting by itself is really not adequate, but if you do that, it'll force you in the right direction for your goals. Yeah. So I don't think you need to shoot for that. Again, focusing on the protein though is key. So if you get more protein and you happen to have 2,000 calories, I'm okay with it. Okay. But you don't need, oh shoot, I'm 200 calories short, I'm going to have a cookie. That's not the mindset. No. I'd rather you say, I only had 1,600 calories today, I'm going to have some beef jerky.
Right. I understand.
Yeah. Okay. Or, something like that. Okay. So, and not the one that's coated in like sugary teriyaki sauce or something. It's okay to have a little flavor. I love flavor too, but some of that stuff is very high in sugar, which is just wasted. All right. Yeah. So back to the workouts. I want to build on that with you, and I think what we probably need to do is do another gym sesh. And I want to use the body comp machine, and then we can schedule that when we get off here, when you're in town, and then we can check your body comp. But I kind of want to give you another 2 or 3 weeks to get back on the horse, and then
deal.
We can build on that. We can see what muscles are looking good. Maybe we'll do a measurements. We haven't done measurements and photos. We could do measurements, and then we can really see, oh, hey, your biceps looking good. We need more triceps or something like that. We can tweak. I'd like to do that. I'm not a personal trainer, but I think we can figure this out.
Yeah. Again, it's all about just getting better on this journey together. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, even though like you're on a trip and stuff, you can do planks anywhere. You can work on your plank time. You can, sitting in your chair right now, everyone take a minute and suck in your gut and hold it as tight as you can for 10 seconds. Everyone here listening along, do it. That muscle, that transversus abdominis muscle, the one that goes side to side, not up and down, not the crunch muscle. That's the one, that's the healthy one you need to build more than anything. So planks will do that. Okay. Hanging from a pull-up bar does some of that. Let's talk about your skin though. Have you been using the oil? And
I have, except I didn't bring any oil with me on the trip. But it's nature's, what is it, olive oil? I forget what you told me to use.
Yeah, we just went with basic extra virgin olive oil. So
yeah, right. It's upstairs. It's part of the routine at night. Good. It's still working.
And you're still flossing?
Yeah, it's part of my habit. Yep.
Excellent. So you've added a year and a half to your life just doing that every night. Yeah. And no, I'm just glad we found something to use on your skin because some of the products were irritating for you. So that's fantastic. Let's talk about your testosterone.
Yeah, so I've been using it. I brought it with me on the trip. I used it most days, probably 5 out of 7 days, just because, again, you get brain fog when you have time lag. But yeah, it's part of the habit. Use it in the morning, back shoulder.
What do you notice, if anything?
Nothing yet. Not that I can think of. I thought about it because I knew we were talking. I haven't. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
No problem. I interrupted you. We were talking about doing some labs here. Vitamin D3 level, we're going to check homocysteine, a few other things. I think you've been on the testosterone at least 30 days now.
Yeah, probably a month. Yeah.
So I usually like to go a little longer before we check a lab test, but maybe we'll do that because you're not feeling anything. Because we may want to go up on that.
Okay. Well, yeah, we could also wait till we get together. We'll do it off air, but it'll be in early April probably. So that'll be another week or two.
Okay, that'll be good, and I'll just add. I'm keeping notes here. That's what I'm typing. We'll add that to your panel. So when you come to town,
yeah, we'll do it in Vegas. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then let's see, where else are we? How's your journaling?
Terrible. That has never become a habit. I tried it. I think I've journaled like 7 times in the last. It's just hasn't become a habit. I don't honestly, Jeff. I don't understand the purpose. Right. I haven't personally connected taking 10 minutes of my time to write some stuff down. Like I am the type of person that's probably better at saying, "Hey, I want to do these 3 things tomorrow."
Yeah.
I'm not very good at. I suck. Let's just be honest at reflection.
That's okay. I'm a lot like you. I want to be concrete. So what we probably need to do is pose 3 or 4 questions that you answer every day in writing.
That might help. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would.
Like, how did I feel today? What did I notice? Because here I am asking you, did you feel anything with the testosterone? You're like, yeah, I'm not sure. But if we had journaled every day, you might say, wow, I was very motivated today. My brain was on fire. I didn't hurt after my workout, something like that.
Right.
We're looking for those. We're data mining is what we're doing.
Yep. Okay.
So I think by journaling, I'm also looking for metrics. Like journal your workout.
Yeah.
Okay. My plank time is now at 2 minutes or whatever, or my hang time is now at 2 minutes.
Got it.
So
yeah, I think it would be good if I had Dr. Jeff recommended 3 questions answered a day, and maybe it is what was the workout today? What I don't know what those are. That might be helpful. And then again, I could put those on my phone, because when I hear journaling, I think writing it down, and maybe that's the hang up. Maybe I just need to. I don't know.
Let me propose 3 or 4 questions. I'll get them to you after the show. We'll put them in the show notes for everyone to think about. And then if anyone has comments, please share with us as we have this journey. But by journaling wasn't meant to, be touchy-feely with you. It was, I saw a butterfly today and it made me feel, but it wasn't like that. It was really to learn from how you're doing, how your engine is running, so that we can, tweak your performance more.
Okay.
And what I'd like to do, the one thing I was on our to-do list, in maybe now we'll do it today, is talk about peptides.
Okay.
For a minute.
Sure.
Because peptides,
tell people what they are.
Yeah. So this is a very hot topic. And if you're in the health and wellness, you have an interest in health and wellness or biohacking, you know what peptides are. But so generically speaking, a peptide is a small protein fragment. So let's do a little biochemistry here. Proteins are molecules that are made up of hooked together amino acids in a certain order. And you may know there are 20 basic amino acids for the human. We make most of them, some we don't. Those are called essential. And a lot of protein supplement products will say we have all the essential amino acids, the ones we don't make. We get usually from meat and stuff. Vegetarians and vegans struggle to get all the right ones. That lentils and beans and things have some proteins, and other vegetables have proteins, but you have to really work at it to get enough protein. So in any event, these proteins are made of these amino acids, and they have unique behaviors in the body. Most of the body's functioning happens through some type of protein. Okay. The most primitive and small ones are only a few amino acids long, sometimes only 3. And usually less than 20 amino acids in a protein are called a peptide, and it's really short for oligopeptide. Oligo meaning few. Like you think of oligarchy as few people run the place, right? So okay. So an oligopeptide. But so why are these interesting? Well, it turns out the more complex proteins in the body, some of them do something. They're called enzymes. Some of them are structural, like collagen. Some of them are in muscle, like myosin or actin. But enzymes might break something apart, might put something together. There are different kinds. There are so many, different proteins in the body, and we are so complex. The amino acids are unique in their structure because they all have a nitrogen molecule. So for those of you that are Trekkies or Star Trek fans, somewhere where it's said we are carbon-based life form. We really are nitrogen-based. We couldn't do anything without our peptides and proteins. We're nitrogen-based. We just happen to have a carbon wrapping, a carbon exoskeleton.
I like that.
So carbon muscles, there's you think about carbs and biomolecules. It's nitrogen. We're nothing without nitrogen. In any event, you look at some of the very basic biomolecules that are peptides in our body, like endorphins, and bigger ones might be like certain hormones are peptides, like the ones from the hypothalamus of the brain that help us release growth hormone, that release thyroid hormone, that release other hormones. And then most of the actual hormones of the body, not all, are steroid based, like testosterone, estrogen, cortisol. Those aren't peptide based. But to release them, you need the peptides in the brain. So the smaller ones, the more primitive, are preserved in other species, all the way down to bacteria, like heat shock proteins and things like that. So these are very interesting. Clinically, in terms of like therapy, using these for treatments, we've been doing this a long time. You think about insulin as a treatment.
Okay.
You think about melatonin as a peptide. So most of us are already taking it. Now it's hard to get peptides in your body by eating them. What you do when you eat protein, you break that protein down into its amino acids in your stomach using enzymes, which are other proteins, to break them down, and then your body reuses them to build up proteins it needs. We're basically a big recycling factory.
Okay.
But if you take a therapeutic peptide and you eat it, usually you don't get much benefit because you're digesting it. So melatonin, that's why melatonin, we need to have a dissolvable.
Okay.
Or another way to get peptides in your body is inject them subcutaneous, like insulin, or semaglutide, which is a peptide. GLP-1 agonists are peptides. And there are peptides all around us. So, if people are freaked out because it's new and, we're still figuring it out, we've been using peptides forever. Yeah. Well, it turns out there was a Russian researcher for many decades who recently passed, and I think it's Dr. Kavinson, and he had been developing this whole, therapeutic research and regimen on different types of peptides, small ones, and the smallest ones are now called bioregulators, type of peptide, and they can help stabilize gland function, like the thymus, the thyroid, things like this. And then some of them are strategic in like muscle building and in recovery from injuries. The most common one I would say is called BPC 157. So if you have an injury and you're trying to heal it, I mean, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're trying to heal your ankle, you're taking BPC 157 injectably daily, and BPC stands for body protection compound, and it turns out it helps build collagen and heal ligaments, tendons, muscles, that kind of thing. So there are many peptides, and now there are new ones discovered all the time, and you can get these online and through some compounding pharmacies. And this is really at the heart of biohacking. So I've tried all kinds of different peptides. I can tell you that there are some that we do for mitochondrial health. There are some that we do for muscle gains, and I'd like to do that with you at some point. But you got to do the work. You got to do the work before we use these hacks, because I was thinking we would get to like the 6-month mark, and we would still have 7% body fat to lose. So we would have to do something like this, and I think we will do that with you. Yeah, I am open to it. Yeah, no problem. But there are so many things you can do with peptide. There are it's an open field right now, and it's huge. Okay. And so a lot of people I have on peptides, even when we're doing stem cell based treatments for other things, we might add peptides to augment that treatment. We have people that have trouble sleeping, so we try different sleep supporting peptides, and And these are studied. Most of the studies are not from the U.S. The U.S. is behind on this as well, and they're not yet approved for marketing claims by the FDA. And some of them are, the way they sell them is for research purposes. But we're all really researching on ourselves every day. So I do them. Family does them.
Now are these peptides the ones the ones that you're doing? Are these an injection or are these?
Yeah. I biohack them myself all the time. So I try some oral ones, but I'm trying this one right now, but it's not getting me any, I don't notice anything. This is called Sloop, which is an exercise mimetic. So it makes your body think it's exercising.
No, it's trying to trick your body into exercise.
Yeah, and it releases some of the biomolecules you release, like myokines, when you exercise. But this isn't a replacement for exercise, but it's trying to get more out of it. It had the main ingredients called SLUPP332. So some of these don't even have names yet. Other peptides you might find are very popular these days, and I'd love to maybe add now with you would be like a growth hormone releaser.
Okay.
So I think we talked about growth hormone before, but as you age, you sort of you peter off your growth hormone, and growth hormone is made to release from your pituitary by a growth hormone releasing hormone, a GHRH, and that's a small peptide. So we can simulate those peptides and make you release more growth hormone, which in the adult should really be called the master anti-inflammatory hormone. So it's an anti-aging move. And so some of these GHRH peptides are called tesamorelin or ipamorelin, and you can inject them daily. They're easy to come by.
Okay.
I'll put something in the show notes. I'll send to you afterwards, and we will start you on a GHR. I'll show you where you can order it.
Okay.
And then how to make it up, because sometimes it comes in a little powder, and you got to get a little sterile water, and you got to be able to make it up. And if you want, that's something we can do here in the office when you're in town. We can do a video of it for
that'd be fun
for people, because people get these things in the mail. They don't know what to do with them. How much do I inject it? So because these sites that sell them are research, they don't want to give any medical information. So that's where I come in.
There you go. So that's why we got Dr. Jeff.
So that would help suppress inflammation. It would help, build tissues, especially when you're working out. You're calling upon your body to build those. So
I like it. Okay. All right. Well, we do have some comments. Let's go to the comments again.
Oh yeah, of course.
So Zoe came in real quick, talking about running. I am no longer training for a marathon, so I'm not doing big weeks. Again, what I actually saw a huge difference going from running to walking again for this year's goal. Last year's goal was to complete a marathon, very different than losing 25% of my fat number, whatever that is. So I am not counting miles anymore, but I'd be shocked if I'm running more than 5 miles a week these days. I am walking probably 12 to 15,000 steps a day. So there's that question. Dr. Jeff, you want to talk about just what's the difference between walking and running, big miles like that?
Yeah, listen, runners tend to be super lean. They get a little more out of the cardiovascular effort. They get more weight bearing because they impact more than a walker, which is good for bone density. I'm a big fan of running. If you have the knees for it and that kind of thing. So I love running, and you can run. People love to run because it feels good to run. You get a runner's high, you release endorphin, a peptide, or you can get more calories burned in a shorter amount of time than walking. So I'm all for running if it suits you. As you become leaner, running is easier for you. If you are a lot of muscle, if you're a bodybuilder, running, you don't have the body for running, right? It's tough, and you need the flexibility. So a lot of runners get real tight in the hamstrings, and you got to add the flexibility to that. Otherwise, you will have issues. Runners later in life tend to have more joint issues, but we have solutions for that. We'll get into maybe in a later thing, which is one of my big projects is cartilage regeneration using stem cells and things like that, exosomes.
Very cool. Well, Trade Better is asking, what is the most important workout that has helped with weight loss? Again, I'll answer this question and then go to you, Jeff. For me, it was actually changing from running to walking. Walking is a lot more time. You know, like I would probably there was a time at the start of this journey where I'd walk cumulatively probably 2 hours a day, where running was probably 45 minutes. But for me, what really changed is walking didn't change my eating habit, right? When I was running all those miles, I was just always hungry, right? And my willpower to stop eating was gone. I felt like I was starving when I was doing, 60, 70, 80 miles. So walking for me has been a big thing. It certainly helped lose that 20 pounds. I would not say it's great for muscle building, obviously, but and again, this could just be the changing. So I got the easy work done first, and maybe walking's not going to be as helpful going forward. But yeah, for the first 20 pounds, walking was a big change for me.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to take this a different direction. I think
Sure.
I think the fat loss is made in the kitchen, and I think that whether you're running or walking, listen, you're spending more time exercising than you were when you were running.
Yeah,
so that
certainly.
Whether you're running or walking, I think you'd still be doing well if you spent this much time at it. I think the resistance training, the ultimate strain of your muscles at that failure point is the key to really getting the hypertrophy in muscles, meaning the growth in the muscles, to get more muscle mass and burn more fat. And I think, again, not eating after dark is key. Intermittent fasting is key. Speaking of fasting, you and I need to add another fast in here somewhere. And then, you have to enjoy it, somewhat. So if you're just like belly aching every day to do the exercise, it's not working. So I know you enjoy your walks. It's like part of your existence. You listen to something or whatever you do.
Yep.
And so, you got to make it something that you can do and look forward to it, and not, begrudge it, bemoan it.
Yeah. We'll go to Zoe's question. Again, this is something I learned from Jeff, which I did not incorporate before, and that is going to failure. I used to be, the whole 3 sets of 10 or 5 sets of 8 or whatever it was. And it always felt like I was going through the motions because I wasn't getting to that failure point. It was just simply a number. And when you do that, you always got more in the tank. So that's something that Jeff has really brought to bear. And Zoe, you're absolutely right. Going to failures, that's where the growth occurs, right?
Yeah, and I didn't make this up. I learned it from John Janquish, who developed the OsteoStrong system, which deals with osteoporosis, helps build muscle. And then he developed an piece of exercise equipment, which is just basically stretchy bands. And it's more than that. But and one set to failure is his teaching, and it makes so much sense. You look at the biochemistry of that. And so many other things I've read have supported that. That's when you release the peak myokines, the little peptides from your muscles that signal brain growth and fight dementia and are good for the heart and tell the muscles to grow. I mean, and you release the growth hormone. I mean, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Well, those were the questions we got from the folks. There's some other comments like the bike versus running. Absolutely. Doing all that marathon training can certainly hurts my knees, ankles.
Bike is great, but you're not getting weight bearing. So again, bone, you have to maintain your bone density. It's correlated with longevity. So if you're older and your hormones are depleted and you haven't replaced them, look into that. You need weight bearing, you need resistance. So the bicycle is too smooth motion. Bicycle and swimming are great exercises. They just don't support bone density.
Yeah. You're not putting, weight bearing is important.
Right.
Very cool. All right. Any other thoughts that we should riff on as we wrap this up? Jeff?
Oh, you're talking to me. I thought you were talking to your audience.
Oh, no, my bad.
We love your questions and comments, and they can be difficult. They can be, you can tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why. Let's debate it here. If you don't like the way Michael looks, tell him so we can talk about it.
Thanks, Real Estate Mindset, for thinking I had plastic surgery. And
But
saying I have a clown's face. Thanks.
do the work, and do the work doesn't have to be daunting. It doesn't have to take up too much of your time. Yes, Michael goes for long walks. You could do a 20 or 30-minute hit workout on some of the advanced treadmills these days at a high angle. And there are people that sprint down their street and back, and that's it. And just at full out failure to get the heart full out, and you can release myokines. This whole business of exercise snacks. Have we talked about that before?
No, talk about that.
So this is Rhonda Patrick talks about this. You get up every I can't remember what she said, 40 minutes maybe from your office chair, and you do 10 body weight squats, good ones, slow, squeeze your butt, go low, don't hurt your knees. And that is more impactful than a half an hour walk or something later in the day. So you got to get up and use your muscles during the day.
Got it. Yeah.
So if you wear iWatch like me, it tells me to get up every so often, and usually I'm on the phone or something, like cancel, dismiss.
Dismiss.
But I try now, like, okay, it's telling me something. Get up, do 10 squats, do something, not just get up.
Right.
Do a plank. I can do that in my office. Who cares?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's something I have worked on since the last call was planks. I'm up to over 90 seconds now.
Good.
But I'm trying to work it out where I do them in the morning, right? Almost first thing. And then I do it, later in the day. I've got to get that number up. So I'm trying to do it twice a day.
Okay. That's great. And the side planks too, which are harder.
Yeah. Plank and then left and right. Yeah.
Okay. Which I usually do about half the amount of time in the side plank that I do. Yeah. Those are harder, but man, those are good. Those oblique muscles and stuff, that'll help trim you, make you look better too. And then how are your pull-ups doing?
Oh, much better. Yeah. I actually went out and did pull-ups. Like when we did the test, I think it was 3. I got to seven
nice.
Yesterday.
Okay,
so
good.
Definitely changing.
That'll put on a lot of, latissimus muscle, build the V in your back, make your wife's going to chase you around the house. So
yeah, I like that. No, this is good. I just got to get refocused, get back on time, which I think I am as of this morning. I actually slept 8 hours straight, which I hadn't done for a week. It's like, what is going on? So it's nice to be back, I think, on schedule.
Fantastic. Okay, let's do it. Let's turn up the heat.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Get it done. All right, you got some work to do. Do the work.
Do the work. All right, buddy. Dr. Jeff, again, if people wanted to reach out to you, I actually have this banner ready to go. Where is it? Recelebrate. There we go. Recelebrate.com. If you want to go check him out. He's also on Instagram, Recelebrate. Jeff, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you soon.
Mm-hmm.